Hello everybody, welcome back to part 6 of the council, second part of episode 2. I don't know which I'm gonna use for, which name I'm gonna use for YouTube, but I just checked my database and I have been in here before, so there will be some letters and stuff that I'm not gonna check because I already did.
Clock stopped at 3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime.
Okay, so I don't know if it was already laying on the floor
That would
last
clear
time.
Emily de facto because she was still with me at the time.
Yeah, but a clock could easily be changed, altered.
Vials of laudanum. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
I think that was a drug, but I'm first gonna check some other stuff. It looks interesting. Nope, can't open that. So, that's a letter I already checked.
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting.
This wasn't here
It
before.
is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out.
Translate text.
It looks like a mixture of medieval Latin and Anglo-Norman. It is difficult to make sense of this jerky writing. I can make out some passages, though. He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me. There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry. What tortured writing.
That's not the part you should be focusing on. She just called your mom a demon. Or accomplice of a demon.
August 24th.
Checked this one already.
3rd of November.
I think I checked this
17.
one already. That's a gun. We do know Napoleon got a gun. Has a gun.
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light.
Then again, Peru also said he was here, so might have lost it. Check us. Not gonna check inside the barrel for now.
There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France.
So still Napoleon of Peru.
It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded and there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently. Right.
So it's clean.
I shall have to find its owner.
Could be good because she was stabbed instead of shot.
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear.
I would go for etiquette, but I'm gonna go with logic
Color
because I'm
doesn't
detective right
correspond
now.
to Emily's black outfits, and Elizabeth doesn't have anything quite like this in her wardrobe. Let's take a closer look. It's a little dirty. It must come from the bottom of the dress where it touches the ground. I recognize that moire pattern. It's the same as the travel dress my mother was wearing when she left. But why the hell did she come into this room?
Well, the demon is coming for her. So, mommy might be cuckoo. Still wondering about should I do the laudanum. I think it was a drug, an antidepressant or something. I think. The blade.
The blade is short and thin, well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood. Still fresh. The lower part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand.
Possibly female. Then again, Napoleon has small and slender hands.
The handprint on the handle is really small. I can't imagine a man with a hand that
Yeah.
size. It must be from a woman's hand.
But Emily was with us and Washington, so it's not her. Emma is dead, for as far as we know. Last time we saw Emma, our mother was about to shoot her and the gun went off, so...
The blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
So a very strong woman. Those were feet. Oh. Okay. So a strong woman. This looks more and more like its mum.
Knocked over a bottle of wine. What kind of plonk is that? Hey, it's a Bordeaux.
I know I'm
It's a
drunk.
Chateau de Bouillon. It's a great wine. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable.
Okay, if he says it's undrinkable, then I'm gonna check it
Knocked over a bottle of wine.
with this one. Next skill is free.
I know that smell. It's laudanum. It must have been mixed with the wine directly in the bottle.
So she was being OD'd. Cure negative.
Poor girl bled to death.
Damn, those eyes are very red.
Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size
Yeah,
15.
Peru already said.
Where's a size like that here? Peru?
He already said he did.
Washington, maybe.
That he walked through the blood, so. Probably should have checked this place first, then asked everybody. Because now I have some stuff I need to ask them again. Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Poor girl. If only she hadn't given me the I'm gonna steal your kidneys vibe. Then maybe she would still be alive. There's a lot to examine. I'm gonna start bottom to top.
Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs. Let's see. No trace of sexual assault or
That's
rape.
good. But then again, we thought it was a woman, so.
More tattoos. Similar
Yeah.
to those on the rest of her body.
I'm not gonna analyze the blood streaks for now. Seems logical that it came from top to bottom from the knife thing and then held up to the wall probably. Next one is upper body.
I
If I'm going
count
from bottom
no
to top.
fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death. Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
Jesus. So she has a leather page with ink on it stitched to her body. Observe the wound.
It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle. As if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
So someone stabbed her like this. Hold her like this and then stab her like that. Yeah, so that goes along with my theory that she was stabbed and then held up to the wall. The question is why? Did upper body, let's do arm, then
There are
hands.
numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
I'm also gonna have to be careful with what I do. Oh, not now because both are 0, but I only have 4 points left and no jelly.
The scars are superficial and were made several years ago. She wasn't trying to take her own life. People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control. scarring. Ugh. Scarring isn't very regular, but they're mostly from old cuts.
So that one wasn't needed. More tattoos. Again, all of them are 0.
She had the Sigillum de Ameth tattooed on her. The symbol of the living God. Written in the language of angels, according to believers. It is rare for someone to know about symbols like this at her age. Unless her mother was a tutor.
Oh, our mother was a tutor.
Symbol of the Masons? What's that doing here? Ancient Greek. Let's see what it means. These are sacred chants intended to protect their bearer. But from whom? Or from what?
So she was taking every single precaution to ward off demons. The hands.
No wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol. This pinnacle's a trap. The wearers of the pinnacle thought that they were protected from evil by surrounding it inside the different circles of the pinnacle.
I would like to check it, but I really need to save some effort points right now. Yeah, that's not creepy
I
at
see
all.
no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck, maybe mutilations.
But if she doesn't have any bruising on the head, then whose blood is that on the wall?
She bled from the nose.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna use those.
What a strange smell.
Probably laudanum. I know that smell, probably laudanum. Laudanum is something that a king would use, probably. You know, king's drugs. In that age. In that time. Okay. That's the clock. Didn't check this.
A pentagram? What the hell's been going on here? Contrary to what most people believe, a pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature. With the point toward the top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil.
Talent unlocked. Empathetic. 1 point in psychology. Discovered all her immunities and vulnerabilities. Nice. So yeah, she's probably permanently dead. If I already have all the immunities and stuff. Yeah. So each are gonna have 4. From what I know, aside from the servants. So yeah. I don't have a single one for BIG and Holm. And Sarah and Emma. I don't know why Emma is on there.
Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
Yeah, I'm not gonna check for thing with death. It was already there before she died, so at least I think it was. There were lines up there. There it is. Also in form of pentagram. So I'm guessing she did that on her own. Did I check this one?
My dear
Yeah,
Elizabeth,
another.
I'm writing to inform
Yeah,
you
it's
of...
another one of those.
Has Sam finished with this room?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this
Probably
room?
Elizabeth.
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has Sir finished with this room?
Yes.
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
So what I can gather is my personal opinion. Our mother came here, tried to talk to Elizabeth. No, wait. Came here, stabbed Elizabeth. Elizabeth got pissed and used all her strength to knock our mother against the wall. Then that. Oh no, wait. I need to check something about the stab wounds. That's the blood. The stab wounds were from above, as if they were done from behind the person and stabbed like that. But if the person was held up, it would still come from up. So maybe Mother came to talk to her. She lifted up Mother against the wall, and to free herself from not dying or getting choked to death, she stabbed her repeatedly in a panic. There was the upper body.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax with a lot of blood.
There's one under the breast,
First
so
sight,
that doesn't make sense.
That's what caused her death.
So, wounds?
It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle. As if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
Okay, so it doesn't state from above. I don't want to use 2 points. Yeah, I don't want to use 2 points. I was trying to convince myself of using them so I could get to a conclusion. Come on. But I couldn't find an answer. So I need to ask some people a few more questions if that's possible. I already checked him. I need Emily. I almost called her Elizabeth. I need Emily and Peru. And Bonaparte. Almost forgot about him. That was a green chest. Yeah, the green chest does nothing. So that's Biaggi. It's mine. Again, I will turn up the brightness for you guys. Yeah.
Duke Menlo Godoy.
Wasn't here yet. This is Emily's room.
Duchess Emily Hillsborrow. Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
And then that's Peru. So Napoleon, Peru, and then Emily, just to make sure that the cloth doesn't match any of her outfits. So yeah. This is a good thinking exercise. Again, I think Mother came to talk, was held up by Elizabeth, and then stabbed her to free herself. But then what is the gun doing there? And why did I get a loading screen?
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Does he own a pistol?
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as suspected.
Did you hear about young
No.
Elizabeth?
Indeed,
I wanted to
it
ask
is
him a
deeply
question
regrettable.
about his alibi.
Lord Mortimer asked me.
I
See if
know.
it was
You
it
no
had
doubt want to
changed.
know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Nope. I don't believe him.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
So yeah, again, it's either Mother, Bonaparte, or Peru. But Peru seems pretty certain that he's being set up and can't do anything about it. So Peru. Oh,
Sir Jacques Peru?
was he the one that threw me out? Damn. Okay, then I can't ask him the question. I'm not gonna bother asking Emily. I can't go down. Maybe I can go down there. I'm guessing I should otherwise go back upstairs. Is there anything else here? Okay. Doesn't hurt to check. Nope. Can't go down. So yeah, I'll just go back up. I've also been told that there are more puzzles in this one than in the last one, so that's nice. The 2 lockboxes were also nice that they added in something like that, but again, it's stupid to, well, pretty stupid to put the answer right next to it. So, the Zeus one I got lucky. That was just my God of War mentality. No, but this first part is huge. I've been playing for an hour right now, because part 5 and 6 are in a succession, so are being made in succession. I'm not gonna bother asking him. Servants, maybe. Can I talk to them? Nope. Nope. That's a pretty big ass statue up there. My stomach making noise because apparently I'm hungry. Yeah. Gotta eat after this. So
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
remind me of facts we already
Will you
know.
remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holm and I until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
But that means either he is lying or Washington is lying. But why would Washington say he was reading a book instead of saying I was with 3 or 4 other people? I mean,
I'm
I
sorry,
can't accuse
my
anymore.
lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
again, I'm still torn between Bonaparte, Peru, even though I think he's being set up, Washington, and Mom. But I think it was the mom. Not missing, in hiding, or does it often? Not missing.
She isn't missing, you know.
What? What do you mean?
My mother has left traces in every nook and cranny of your island, my lord. She's definitely here. Now, what worries me most is why she doesn't show herself.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Told me.
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me.
I help a captain. Did my mother sell arms? I'm gonna go with the mother.
Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having the support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
I'm gonna
If
pretend I'm stupid.
only my mother trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Well, Louis was just stupid enough to tell Mortimer that we're in the order. I don't know if he knew, but if he didn't, we're screwed. Louis is an idiot. Maybe she's wary of someone, she might have discovered something, maybe she's lost her mind. I would go with discovered something, but that would only make me suspicious. In his point of view. Wary of someone the same, so I'm gonna go with lost her mind.
I'd like to find a logical answer, but I just can't see anything.
I can.
Apart from the fact that she might have lost her mind. Since I came here, I've ceased to understand her. That, plus what I've found out about her past, and I'm left with the bitter feeling that I never really knew her.
I can understand you beginning to feel that way after these past 2 days, but I'm sure all will become clear once your mother reappears. The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
What are you speak about?
You seem to know my
I'm not
mother
gonna
very
be
well, my lord.
rude.
What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
The armistice between the Russians and the Turks. Russia's come out of it having officially won Crimea, which gives it direct access to the Black Sea.
And, at the same time, the Mediterranean Sea. I'm worried about the decisions Tsarina Catherine might decide to take. She's a woman who managed to get rid of her husband to accede to the upper reaches of power. Gaining access to the Mediterranean Sea remains her main objective. When she still had that dear Potemkin as her lover, I could always find out about her intentions, but those days are over.
You're speaking of Grigory Alexandrovich
So
Potemkin?
glad nothing
very man.
discuss any points.
The little devil behind the mother of all Russians. Since his death, I know absolutely nothing of what the Tsarina is up to.
Oh, really?
Ah, yes. I didn't mean to shock you. Please forgive me. Let's just say that, in my position, it is often advantageous to know about the habits and customs of world leaders.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the Third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean-d'Acre.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean-d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts.
Hmm.
Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a
I may
model.
have messed up.
Yes, I know. But I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborrow's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation, until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Is there an even higher level in the mansion?
The room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
But this is downstairs for him. Why did they call it upstairs? Also, I said halfway through the conversation I may have messed up. That's because I tried to make myself look like a fool towards him. But I answered everything he said with knowledgeable information. So yeah. Pretty much screwed myself over there.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
They cost so much.
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Yeah, it all costs way too much. Let's see if there's anything back here. Nope. Oh,
What is this disc?
I'm just gonna take it. Lodestone. A round magnet. Okay. No need to observe that.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes
That's the
up
second
here
time I
from the
read
mortal
that.
world must ripen in our rays. There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here.
Sword.
Who could it
Napoleon
be?
has a sword? But I think Napoleon is an enemy.
Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
So that could mean Napoleon. Consult notes. Oh, that's useful, I suppose. Coin.
A pound.
What do these coins do? 16 coins. I have no clue what they do. Do I get a trophy if I find all of them or something? There's not a single trait about it. I'm gonna use this one.
The door appears to be locked on the other side.
Open.
think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
I would have picked the lock, but I have the magnet, so it should work.
Let's see if it works.
There we go. That's useful. I wonder if I can still use the magnet in the future. I'm gonna check my
It's
items in a little while, if it allows me. Okay, so I'm gonna check if I still have the magnet. I still have the magnet. Nice. So yeah, maybe I can use the magnet in the future. That would be great. More.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean?
I think this is gonna be a big puzzle. And that I... Yeah, no, I already did that.
St. Paul
And then
is
I'm
shown
gonna
holding a sword.
cut out the audio for that a little.
Strange.
I think I'm
There's
gonna need
hardly
a
any
piece of paper.
dust,
So
as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look.
might
This
need
is how
these.
Paul spoke to his
Take a few
pilgrims
more.
from Rome. Just above that, someone's written
I
down
have
the
these
figure
tiny
11
square
on the painting
papers.
and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean?
Something to write with. Pencil. Okay, so what do we know? We have 11 underlined twice, and he is pilgrims in Rome. So I'm gonna go Rome. I don't know what is gonna be useful about this, but what this guy?
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
That's Mark. The Mark. That's the only thing. I'm not gonna write that down then.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni.
Guido Reni
It
seems.
looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Reni seems be the main theme of this room. That's another book.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni.
Keep repeating his name often enough, and I might pay attention.
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
I'm not gonna pick that. Screw that. Oh no, wait, I have water.
A chest with the occult symbol representing
There
air.
we go. A free one. Ooh, amber. I'm gonna use my elixir. Nice, talent, Prince of Amber. What do I get for that? This one. Increase effort points by 1. Plus the one I got from the amber. Nice. If only I could fill it up in one go.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
Okay. That was useless.
The New Testament.
Damn, that's a lot. I'm gonna check everything. The book. Bible is famous.
This volume dates from the first edition by Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed. The pages are covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible. This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
So, I saw something about Romans. And 11 was underlined twice. I'm
I say then,
guessing this is
have
gonna
they
be something
stumbled
like this?
that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy.
Yeah, that was useless.
Wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say?
Clever mother.
Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply. Hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
What did she mean about the code of the two groups of pilgrims? So, I'm guessing these are the apostles? Well, those guys all have beards, so I'm guessing it's this one.
St.
Same
John
mentality.
is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer.
I don't think I need to know something about the apostle. I don't know what scrutinize means.
The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle?
Behind the painting?
Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
So 1 left, 3 right. Think about the figures, remember the aforementioned book. I don't know. I know that there are multiple paintings in this one. So, oh, something on the ground.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Nothing useful. Great. This is gonna take an eternity. Inspect surroundings. Perfect. Scrutinize drawers.
Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
So I'm gonna see what that means. Hebrew, because I saw something about Hebrews in the book. Why in Hebrew? Not gonna question it.
It
What does
says,
it mean?
count in the dust. All right, let's do it.
Okay. Inspect surroundings. Dusty piece of
There
furniture.
are finger marks,
8.
deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all.
Yeah, I read the.
That's what the message in Hebrew spoke about. Hebrew 8.
That's what I was checking. I was reading the subtitles before he said it. Candlestick.
No, nothing of value here.
Could have been a secret way.
It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Okay. So that was useless. So Hebrew 8. I'm gonna check if I find that. Which one was it? Hebrews. Verse 8.
Thou hast put all things
There
under
were
his
2
feet.
of those.
For in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him.
Okay, so that one wasn't it, I guess. There was another one. 6-8.
But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message.
Hey.
There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him.
Who's left?
Yeah,
Paul's
this
left.
last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
So Paul, left side of Paul. Which one was Paul? Was this? No, this was Matthew. Mark. Was this Paul? Yeah,
St. Paul on the road to Damascus,
on
a
his left.
Caravaggio. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
4, okay. No clue what for, but...
St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other
I wrote
apostles.
down 2.
How come?
I wrote down 2 as well because he's the only one that appears twice.
Caravaggio attained
Yeah,
a
well,
magnificent
used that.
command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
I think I might need to use some of these, but I'm gonna try not to. It's on his left, which would be here. So left of Paul, he's both the man on the bed and the man lying down. Yes, I'm mumbling, that's because I want to curse, but I'm trying to hold myself back a little. So I'm gonna try to see this Paul. Is there anything about Paul? Nope. Luke, Mark, John, Matthew, Acts of Apostles. Nope. 4, 5.
Not in the lustful desire,
Just guessing
even
right
as the
now.
Gentiles who knew not God.
Nope. That wasn't it. What do I have? On the left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. So
I guess I'll just come back
I'm
later.
gonna have to. I don't really have much other choice. This is gonna be a big part.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by
Turn off
Caravaggio.
the camera and turn it back on. Okay, so the camera is back on. So, well known, remember the story. I'm just gonna go with remember the story. I'm gonna need a sync point.
A fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion could be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles.
Okay, so what I wrote down is the Galatians, the Philippines, the Corinthians, and the Acts of Apostles. And I can't hear it again. Oh, but it says it up here, so that's good. So I'm gonna need to check those. That narrows it down a little. I think I was in Hebrew again. Don't need this.
And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests which did so.
I wanted to get out of the menu. The Corinthians. There is nothing with a 4. Let's go back. 4:18.
Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
It says temporal, but it says transient. So, nothing else in the Corinthian. And this one doesn't have a 4 in it either. Then there still Philippines and Acts of Apostles. Philippines.
Finally,
4:8.
brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things.
Yeah, I would go mad if I had to read a book like that the entire time. So
Do
2:14.
all things without murmurings and disputes.
Yeah, that's not it either. So Acts of the Apostles. No, go back. Was it in here? Nope. Acts of the Apostles. 2-2. That would make a 4.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
Nope. I might as well just go over everything right now. Oh, come on. I don't want to give this up. Nope.
And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. Hey, a new note. It's been folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
Okay, so this one was easier. I don't even know if this was the right one that I solved, but I know that the one who hears the angel is this guy because it clearly said he listens to an angel. Look at the frame. What
There's
does it
something
say?
else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Half of the first group will follow in Corinth. So it's probably gonna be Corinthians and one of the first verses. So yeah, last time Paul went back. So I went to Book of Revelations and then Revelation to John because yeah, I believe the Revelation was before everything, and then I just found 12 and 14, which coincided with my 2 and my 4. I have no idea if it's actually the good one or not. So what was I checking again? So I didn't even find the one with Paul, so it seems, because I went up. Wait, I found the one with, I'm glad you found this note, I was afraid the code of 2 groups of pilgrims, I already had that one. Revelation of John. Wait. You know where? Anyone know where we will find it? It's imperative for waiting your reply behind the youngest one. That was then 2 later. Found the book in your effects, concealed where no one else can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will reply to the one who hears the angel. And of course, I don't remember what the flippin' thing said.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Speed that up, but I want to hear what it said again because I already forgot. Okay, so first of Corinth. I find it stupid that that doesn't appear in my notes. First of Corinth, Corinthians 1, first half.
For the
122.
Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom.
Nope.
For you are bought with a
20.
price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Nope. I know this looks a lot like
If we
guessing,
have
but
hope
I know it's in the
Christ
first
in this
piece of
life
Corinthians
only,
right now.
we
So
are, of all men, most miserable.
it should be there, let's put it like that.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look,
There we go.
here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. Prussian? Volner? I must have a word with him. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
So Mark and 6. But I think it's over here. Saint Mark. There is no 6. Okay, so I am going to
I guess I'll just come back later.
check back with Mark. This is Mark, I think? No?
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
And the frame was no problem. Drawers behind
It's
the
too
painting.
cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
So I know it has something to do with Mark. Wait. Follow to Mark. 6-8 with Hebrew. I did the Hebrew one. That was with the dust near Mark. So it resulted in that. 2 is left in the company of the pilgrims. I still haven't found the one with Paul then. Well, that means I haven't found the one with the Faith of the Man with the Sword either. Because that goes from Code of 2 groups of pilgrims. Major confirmation to his left in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. So Paul. 4,
Not
5.
in the lustful desire.
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were
Theologian. Found your mother's message.
ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she
Nightmare
mean
is with
by
a capital,
that?
so it's the name of something, and I think the painting in Mortimer's study was called the Nightmare, so it's probably literal.
Clearly she must be trying to do something useful, but what? Nightmare. Does that remind me of anything?
Object.
It probably has to do with an object or something. Granting that this is the case, where might it be found?
Try to remember number 10. Wow, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use a number 10 just for the sake of
It's
this.
a study. I'm practically sure of it. Yes, it's the painting that
So
was
it
behind
was.
Mortimer's study. Well, let's see if Mortimer has anything to hide behind his painting.
Okay, so I have no clue how left of Paul.
Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
I'll pause it for a second. So I have no clue how left of Paul and the number 4 had anything to do with Acts of the Apostles number 10, Act 10 verse 8. I have no clue how that has anything to do with it. Aside from Acts of the Apostles, it was said when we examined the painting that he did have something to do with the Acts of the Apostles, so that's why I was checking that. But still, 10-8? Oh wait, no. Oh, damn it. I found another note in Acts of the Apostles, and it was on the right side of 10-8, I think. But that wasn't one of Paul's. It did say backtracking, but that I had to go back, but still, that's just insane. What did I actually get from doing this theology thing? 1 in occultism, okay. That doesn't really help me much. Now I have 2 points in it. Well, I just almost went insane. Bible note. So the most recent goes up now. Bible's note. Note from Mother found in the Gutenberg Bible. It says we must leave urgently, but first, absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Join the other guests. Please tell me this is the end of... Oh, thank God. This thing was huge. So there were no alternate paths, and I didn't fail anything. That's good to know. Oh, almost reached level 8. That was close. New characters met. 22. Oh yeah, I met Mortimer for the first time, so I got 22 points from that. Okay, traits unlocked. Character traits revealed. Vulnerabilities exploited. Items found. So I'm guessing level 10 is just the maximum. Okay. Ooh, 4 points. That's a lot. I am going to put 3 in you. No, wait. Do I have one? Oh no, I don't have one for that. So yeah, 3 in you. I don't have one for occult. One for occultism only. I would like to do manipulation, but I don't have enough manuscripts for that. So if I use 3 manuscripts next, then I still have 5, so I need to find pages for the other ones, else I will run out of manuscripts before I can do anything else. I'm gonna go with manipulation because I really need to use that to get the other trait. So, tragic fate. Character. I'm checking to see what I can level up, but there's nothing. Just avoid using level 3s. So no questioning, no logic, and no subterfuge. Oh, wrong one. So yeah, I'm gonna go with these 2 and science. Okay. Apprentice. Trait. Is that a trait? That's not a trait, I think. Member of the Order. No. Talent. Apprentice. Oh yeah, increase experience by 5%. But unfortunately, that's gonna be all for this episode. This episode has been recording for over an hour. So, yeah. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.